Hey, you may ask, who's this guy on this webcam? Like, what is he doing? Who's this guy? Well, look at his video stream, this and that. Well, honestly, I'm just here to tell you, you ain't gonna find a high quality video. You're not gonna find something that you haven't seen anywhere else. I'm just a college student trying to make it in life that loves the Lord with all his heart. And I do believe at times for Christian people, not only for Christian people, for anybody. Because this video is not just for Christian people, it's just to explain what God has done with me. Because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be nobody. You see, right now it's really late, it's about 12 o'clock at night, and I'm here just to tell you about my testimony. It's just a short story about what made me a Christian, what made me who I am, you know. It's like, all my life I've been a pastor's son, you know. And you know the rumors out there, PKs are the worst. Sometimes, sadly, that's true. Many pastor kids don't tend to make it and don't set an example for other kids, but I've tried all my life. I've not been perfect. I've done my mistakes, I've done my errors, but I tried all my life to actually be an example. But it's hard to have a relationship with the Lord when everybody's attacking you. You know, that's always scared me. It's always kind of made me drift away from God a little bit. But there was a moment in my life that God brought me back to Him. You know, I saw a video the other day saying that, oh, you can never let God down. And that's true, because you weren't holding Him up in the first place. You see, my testimony is real simple. When I was in about 5th grade, I was sitting down watching some ESPN with myself, you know. My mom and my dad's in the room. I don't know where my sister's at. And I'm just watching. All of a sudden, I noticed that I can't breathe. I'm having trouble and difficulty. You know, and it wasn't really normal to not breathe that much. I had asthma at the time, but I didn't know it was so severe. But what was happening is I started to wheeze, and I was losing breath little by little. And then my mom comes in the room, you know, and looks at me and is like, Eddie, is everything alright? You know me, I thought I was like the macho man. I thought I was big and bad. I'm not gonna let my mom know because she's my mom, you know. No, mommy, I'm good. This and that. Blah, blah, don't worry about me. But she knows, because a mother knows who you are. A mother knows when you're struggling, or when you're having difficulty, whatever thing. You can't hide it from her or your father sometimes, you know. But of course, mothers, you know, they always smart, you know. So she kept bugging me about it. I'm like, Mom, no, I'm good. Don't worry about me. She said, no, you're not. Go see your father. So I did what I need someone to do. I went to see my dad. I'm like, Dad, mommy told me to come see you. I'm good. Because she said I have like problems breathing and stuff. I'm lying to him, but you know. And my dad, he's quite a man, you know. He's like, oh, don't worry, this is easy. Just go get some Vicks and get some sock and get a sock. So I look at him, I'm like, okay, I do what he's the boss, I do what he says. I went and grabbed the sock, I got some Vicks, put it on the sock, like he said, and he tied it around me, on my head. Remember, I just want to keep in mind that I have asthma. That is something that has to do with your lungs, you know? And I don't know why he's putting a freaking bandage type of thing on top of my head full of Vicks. Like, what's that gonna help? I don't know, it was making me feel worse. But, you know, my dad, he's like, don't worry, give it a few minutes, it'll go away. However, it didn't. My asthma was getting worse at the time. And my mom looked at me, she's like, no, we can't keep doing this. Like, I'm taking you to the hospital. I refused. I didn't want to go. Because I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to the hospital. I'm 11 years old. I'm grown. Yeah. But no. My mom, she's a beautiful woman. She forces me to go, and we go to the hospital. And when I'm at the hospital, we get there and it's I'm talking about 4. We have to wait a long time. And I'm over here wheezing, you know. It's getting harder for me to breathe. They finally call our name, Eddie Rare, can you come through? And I go through the the place where they do all the stuff, check up on you and everything. And when they do the checking up on me, all of a sudden, all I hear is, this guy has this, I don't know what he was saying. I don't know what was going on. You know, I'm 11, all this doctor terminology and all this doctor stuff. I was getting confused, but I got scared. right? Because they bring a wheelchair, they put me on the wheelchair, they start running me off to the room. I'm looking around like, what's going on? It's just everything's happening so fast. I'm so confused, you know, and I'm just so confused. And they put me on a stretcher on the bed thing. They put me on the bed path, whatever you call that. And when I'm on the bed, literally as soon as I touched the bed, my back and my head touched the pillow, I lost my breath completely. I don't know if you ever seen that commercial with the fish looking out for water, like looking outside of the water for air. That was me. That's what I was going through. You know, I officially like lost breath. My lungs didn't want to work. So I'm over here looking, gasping for air, anywhere. And then at this time, I'm like 11, but I know what's going on. In my mind, I'm dead. I'm looking around, doctors going crazy. I'm looking everywhere. I see my mom, she's crying, this and that. So I'm like, I'm dead. But then, this is the thing. When I'm thinking all this, I'm like, dang, I died so young. But let me look at my mom. She's the last thing I want to see, you know? And I'm looking at my mom, and I get pissed off because she's praying. What in the world is she doing? Her son is on a bed in the hospital without any air, without any oxygen, looking like a fish, and she's praying. I was getting very upset. I got really mad. I was like, what the world is going on, Mom? I just want you to come hug me and kiss me, tell me that you love me, give me a final goodbye, don't be crying right now. But she didn't do nothing of that. She ain't not come kiss me, not hug me, she ain't say no word, but she was praying. That's a woman of faith. She was praying and she was praying. All of a sudden, I promise you, as soon as she like said amen and she stopped praying, I instantly got breath. Like I felt this wind come up through my nose, and it was just so amazing. I didn't know what was going on. I was just a young boy. But then I realized at that very moment what the power of prayer is. And a woman who has faith can go a long way. You see, my mom believed in God. She believed that He has a purpose in my life, and she believed that the devil has no authority over me or authority over my life. And she showed me from that very moment that if I am with God, who can come up against me? That there's no weapon formed against me that will prosper, you know? And I've been going through multiple attacks daily, but that very moment helped me realize that to this day, even if the devil comes up against me, he's gonna have to fall back, because there's no way that I'm gonna let the devil and his demons and his wannabe army come against a child of God. I understand to this day that God saved me back then, and He still can save me from my situation now. This is my testimony, you know? That very moment is when I decided to serve God with all my heart. I make mistakes. I stumble, I fall, I do this and that. But with all that, God is still going to be there for me. The Bible specifically says that even if my mother or my father has forsaken me, the Lord will never forsake me. He will never forsake me, ever. And He'll do the same with you. I don't know what's your problem, I don't know what's your situation, I don't know what you're going through in life right now, in this very moment, but I just want to explain something, that you serve a great God. And even if you don't serve Him and you're not that religious, there is a great God out there for you. All you gotta do is open your heart. Open your heart and say a prayer. Have a little faith like my mother did. At that moment, when I was in the hospital, I didn't have faith. I didn't know what was going on. But my mom had all the faith. There's somebody out there praying for you. There's somebody out there thinking about you. And God is calling your name. He's calling your name. And all you gotta do is trust and believe. We serve a greater God. Trust me. You don't believe me? Just try it out. What you gotta lose, right?